It's actually choosing to create a reality aligned to God's heart and purposes that you find revealed. And
so you
that
can't use it
realm,
for your own personal desire.
yeah, of course you can. So long as that desire is aligned to the heart of the Father. And the way we choose it is not prescripted to one specific way. It's not limited. There are realms of possibility that means billions of ways of doing the same thing, and they're all good when they're coming from the heart of the Father. And our creativity to begin to engage that, because we find ways that are aligned to who we are, possibilities that are designed within our destiny to pursue. So two people could actually choose totally different ways of outworking the same thing and reality, and bringing about the result at the end, and do it differently. But it just doesn't mean that either of them are right or wrong. They're just the way that that person has chosen. But it is an interesting thing.
So I would take it that if you had something that you really wanted to do, but you weren't sure it was God's heart, then you could just always ask what his mind and heart would be on that particular subject.
Yeah, I only want to do what I see the Father doing. Therefore, the closer I am to his heart, the more I instinctively know what his...
Oh, yeah, sure.
So to be honest, it's like I used to ask him a lot of questions because I didn't really know what the answers were. That the closer I've got to him, the less questions I need to ask, because I just know.
Yeah, sure.
I know his heart, and I know his heart is always going to be based in love. So I know it's never going to be anything outside of love. So generally, the closer you are, the less you're more you're aware, and the less you need to ask. It becomes a sort of a cardiogenosis, a revealing of the knowledge of his heart in an intimacy that we are living and dwelling in that realm. But when we're looking at it from God's desire for restoration, then choosing to that possibility to become a reality. And of course, that can start with our life. What areas in my life needs to be restored? How can I brood to bring about choosing that reality so that it manifests, so that the living light actually begins to collapse into a quantum reality for that. So there's a lot of things. I saw a fantastic article the other day, or just a Facebook thing. I think it said the scientific description of the quantum field is very similar to mystics' deception of the spirit world. The quantum field is a vast eternal sea of vibrating energy, a quantum sea of light. All life exists and breathes within this infinite, indivisible, self-regenerating, interconnected, inexhaustible sea of energy. It is a state of pure potential and infinite possibility. So in light of us engaging with that realm, in the last few sessions I've engaged, I saw that and I thought, yeah, and that was coming from scientists, basically. And then they quoted, the difference between the Western worldview and all of that. The Western worldview of nothing but a material reality is negated by discovering that aren't the two fundamental spirit physical entities, something material, something immaterial, but only one energy. So what we think as material is really just energy vibrating, and what we can't see is also energy vibrating. So one just needs to manifest into the other. So
do we do that by thought?
There's a physicist, Amit Goswami. I imagine he must be sounds Indian. It is the eternal sea of consciousness that creates the universe. Modern science, he says, is creating a new paradigm that validates an ancient idea. The idea of consciousness, not matter, is the ground of all being. Well, now there's a whole lot of stuff then there you've got to be careful where that will take you away from a personal God, because that could lead to a universe God, to the reality that, yeah, that is true. Our consciousness chooses the reality, and light responds to the mind of Christ. God didn't just speak. He had a desire and a thought before he spoke, and therefore there was a process that was relational within that then brought about the manifestation of it. So yeah, I believe absolutely that we can engage that realm because we're engaging with the Father's desires and heart, and we can then choose to manifest that realm around our lives, in our lives, through our lives, and in a wider sphere as we're outworking the Father's heart in it. And it is a very creative process, you know, and it may completely be in opposition to what we're seeing in the natural realm. Hi everyone, we're starting a Patreon page, patreon.com/freedomarc, and we would like to invite you to partner with us in taking the message of God's unconditional love, limitless grace, triumphant mercy to a bigger global audience.